and dignity, you are here to call for alienation and power. So my power is to resist your alienated power. This is freedom. This is Islam. So at the end, ask yourself, are you agents of this understanding of Islam facing this contemporary challenge, which has to do with alienated freedom, alienated sometimes understanding of the way it means to be, what it means to be a human being, deep understanding of the Quran. So this is what the Quran is telling you things about the way you have to be, the way you have to be to face the people. I remember once, rahimahullah, my father was telling me about the last surah of the Quran. I never forgot that. And said, you know what? Read the last verses of the Quran. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ مَلِكِ النَّاسِ. 5 times you have nas, meaning be cautious with people. Trust him, not them. If you love people, don't trust them completely. Your love to people is not to trust. You know why? Because you don't trust yourself completely, don't you? And if you do, be careful. You should not trust yourself completely. You can do things that are horrible. You can be pushed to say and to do things that are unacceptable. So trust him and ask him to help you to be better. رحمتك نرجو اللهم لا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين. Don't let us, just for 1 second alone, be with us. Help us to be better. Because if you let us to ourselves, we can just destroy everything and ourselves first. This is a third dimension. It has to do with our education within this society, freedom, equality and justice even. All what we are saying, equality before law, be careful. We're talking this afternoon about the fact in this society, when you are black or when you are white, we have the same laws, but they are not implemented the same way. And this is not Islam. This is when you come to the Quran and it said, Ya ayyuhan nas, and understanding wa min ayatihi khalqu as-samawati wal ard, and then اختلاف ألسنتكم واختلاف ألوانكم, the fact that you have all these colors, all these languages, you are equal before God and you should be equal before law. This is the Quran. This is why you have Bilal alayhi salam. This is why you have these people coming from different areas. And this is something that when we come to the Quran, we need to understand that this is a very strong message about al-ukhuwa, al-insaniyya, wal-ukhuwa fillah, meaning we have to understand this as a very strong message about equality. But not only this, be careful with something which is new now. This whole business about democracy and citizenship, I have been involved in this for the last 30 years. Talking about citizenship, and that's all good. But now you see things that are very dangerous. Which in fact, when you come back to the Quran is a mirror telling you, be careful. When the people are telling you, you know what, we are citizens and we have to be treated equally, it's as if the migrants, it's as if the non-documented people should and could be treated in a way which is not exactly as us. What is this? What is this? And it's worldwide, by the way, worldwide. This is something which is called now the new slavery. In my continent, in Europe, what we see coming from Eastern Europe, what we see coming from poor countries in Eastern Europe, coming to Western Europe, and they are treated like nothing because they are not citizens. So it means that as you are not citizens, you are less human beings. In Burma, Myanmar, now, I was talking to someone who's a specialist, who was telling me the philosophy that you get from some extremist Buddhist monks is to say these people are no longer human beings, dehumanization of people. So it's citizenship for us, and let us treat them in a way which is not acceptable. It happened with the Palestinians. It's happening in the United States that the way you have the Latinos sometimes, the new migrants that are not because the status is important, are treated in a way which is not acceptable. How come can we say us as citizens and then the residents or the migrants are treated in a way and no one is going to talk to them? While what we have in the Quran is telling you exactly the opposite. The opposite. Your humanity comes first. It's so much the case that even if I don't agree with what you do, I will never forget that Allah created you the way you are. I respect who you are in the name of God. What you do, I'm going to challenge that. But this is the message of the Quran that you need to get. It's very powerful. It's very powerful. And if you now, as Americans, you are led to act in a way where you respect the citizens and you forget the migrants, I'm sorry, you are not faithful to the message of the Quran. You are not. And if within the society you accept that there is a status for the poor, and a status for the rich, a status for the black, and a status for the white, you are not following in the footsteps of the Quranic message. You are not following the Prophet ﷺ. This is the message of Islam, which has to do with that you have to stand up for justice as witnesses of God's message. That this is something which is essential in our understanding. Last two, power is everywhere. Don't try to avoid talking about power. Talk about power, but be clear about the way you talk about power. For us, power is the power to serve, and its power is for us a service. It's not to take over, and it should be thought in that way. Unfortunately, today, very often, this understanding of power, we are involved. I have to finish. I will. Quickly. So, what I wanted to say here is, very often, all this discussion about power is essential. We have a problem today, and we are dealing with where are the true centers of power. And it's always like this. We need to get this discussion. And when you come to the Quran, and when you see, for example, the very simple, we repeat this because we know this. The Prophet was corrected by Allah when he neglected the poor old man coming to us about the Quran to deal with the powerful, thinking that the powerful are going to protect. And says, no, this is a lack of trust in Allah. The sincerity of the old man asking you about the Quran is more a protection than the power of the powerful. If only you look at things with your heart, not with your mind that is calculating how much power they have. So this trust in the true power here is very important. And sometimes we are misled by what is happening, that this is the power, which is, I don't have time, but if you read the story around Surah Al-Buruj, and you will see this magician that, anyway, I don't have time for that, but it's a great story where you can see the relationship to power. And we were talking today also about war, and if you come to the Quran, you understand something. Willing it or not, whatever the people are telling you, don't avoid, as Muslims, talking about war. Don't avoid talking about resistance. I don't like this new pacifist trend of saying it's all about, we are non-violent Muslims, we are non-violent. But if you are going to oppress, if you are going to kill, if you are going to oppress the people, you will find us by the very name of Allah telling us resist, because this is the dignity of human being. And in fact, in history, the dignity in Europe, the dignity in this country was by the people who resisted. We're not saying we are peaceful. Yes, we are peaceful, but not at any price. We are peaceful with dignity. And if you want to talk about war, we are going to talk. There will be no war. There cannot be a war in Islam to get power, to get money, to colonize and to oppress. people who want to colonize, who want to exploit. This is the dignity of human being, and we are ready to talk about this. It has to be said. And if, for example, we talk about Africans or Palestinians or Asians or even poor people in this country resisting oppression, we are on their side because the Quran is telling us, by definition, by essence, by faith, by the very meaning of Islam, you are on the side of the oppressed. Always. That's very easy it's very easy to clap. This is the message for life. And it means that you have to pay the price and you have to understand. So we are ready to talk about all these things. It's talking about peace means talking about war, talking about conflict, talking about resistance. It's not to avoid the topic, it's to tackle the topic straight head on, but with the right principles, with the right understanding. And to have all that, it means that when you come to the Quran, you understand that with the very deep challenges, what we need is with ourselves, within our family, with the way we deal is wisdom. And the world lacks wisdom. The second is commitment. And the world lacks commitment. We have a world today of people being victims. We are victims of them. We are victims of the powerful. We are victims from the capitalists. We are all victims. It's a world of victims. And Muslims are like this as well. We are victims. They don't like us. They discriminate us. No, we are tested, but we should be committed. The answer to victimhood is commitment. Commitment means and this is what the Prophet said. Follow the right path. Follow the right path. So this means a commitment. We as Muslims are facing a psychological war. And to a psychological war, there is a psychological jihad. And the way I translate jihad is resistance and reform. One of the main dimensions of this psychological jihad is to put us in a situation where we want to please the people. We want to please our fellow Americans, our fellow Europeans, and at the end, the only way to please our fellow citizens, people of other faiths, is to respect ourselves. And the way we respect ourselves is with some courage. Speak your mind. Say what you have to say, with wisdom and commitment. But this business that, and the Quran is always teaching us this, the prophets, the messengers, peace be upon them all, didn't come to please the people. They were not asking to the people, do you like what I say? Do you get me? They like what we say. They find our message. To be happy because they like is one thing. To do things for them to like is another thing. To be happy because they like it, it means that we found the right way to convey the message. But to do it with this purpose is wrong. We are not here to please the people, we are here to please Him, and if we want to please Him, it means some courage. Wisdom, commitment, and courage, inshallah. Speak your mind. Say what you have to say, with wisdom and commitment. But this business that, and the Quran is always teaching us this, commitment and courage, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
We're so blessed to have you again. I know everybody's waiting for you, and this is one question. This question I have been asking from different scholars because we have this issue in our community. The marriage of a Muslim woman with non-Muslim men. It's an issue which is really going on in the media also. How come a Muslim woman cannot marry a non-Muslim, but a Muslim man can marry non-Muslim or Ahl Kitab? Does it mention in Quran? Is it clear?
Yes, there is one verse in the Mumtahana referring to the fact that the Muslim women are not allowed for non-Muslim men. And in fact, we have to understand that it has to do with the whole philosophy of the Islamic family. In fact, within the role in the family, the man is expected to look after the family, to support financially the family. And with this, there is a way where you can find within the family a situation where there is a way of financial dependence. And with the financial dependence, something that could be less freedom for women to practice religion. So within the whole family, the perception of the family, this is where, from the very beginning, the Muslim scholars and relying on the Surah Al-Mumtahana, they were referring to the fact that it's not possible for a Muslim woman to marry a non-Muslim. So this is before the marriage. Sometimes we have a situation where women were not aware of that or were not interested in anything and they came back to religion afterward or they convert to Islam. In this situation, there is something which is different. It's not, you don't have to divorce. There was one position saying you have to divorce, and others saying no. As long as the husband let you practice your religion, you can stay with him. But this is after the situation. So the first position in Islam, the first principle in Islam is it's not allowed. And the second, in a situation where something happened for the woman, she converted to Islam, or she rediscovered her religion, she has to deal with the situation not by going as far as to divorce, but to try to find a way of being able to practice her religion while being married.
If the issue is only financial, it has been changing in the United States, like where we live, because nowadays we see some girls and Muslim women, they are working, and sometimes we see.
No, it's not only financial; it's the whole philosophy of the family, in the way the relationship and how the family should be thought within. So it's financial, it's the relationship, the rules. It also has to do with the children. So I wrote about this. There is one book where I tackle this issue, and I think that we have to be quite clear on why this has to be done. So this is the Islamic position that you can find. It's almost an ijma, a consensus among the scholars. We have now some who are trying to change it in the name of the maqasid, the principles, by saying, for example, if the man is accepting her religion, accepting that she practices, accepting that the kids are going to be Muslims, so with all these conditions, is it possible? The main Islamic position is no. You have marginal positioning saying we go case per case to try to see if this is possible, but you're asking me about the rules. I'm telling you the rules. Now in specific situation where things went very far, some scholars try to manage the situation and try to find a way, but this is the rule.
But what's the difference between a non-Muslim and also we have so many Muslims, especially now the new generation? They're not in Deen. They don't even know their kalima. They are not practicing. They don't know any basic things about Islam.
Yes,
but it's okay with them, but not okay with them.
No, I think that you are right on one thing. That we are very often respecting some rules, formal rules, and not questioning the very meaning. We have some Muslims who are Muslims by culture and Muslim by family or by their own affiliation, but not really serious about their religion, and it's okay with them and not with others. So this is why I would suggest to any woman not to go with this, not to go with the formal way that you are a Muslim and that I can do, to be very serious about the principles, very serious about the understanding, very serious about the expectation, and then to put this from the very beginning. should be very cautious not to end up being a very formal way to be a Muslim that open the door for Muslim women to marry without getting the substance. And especially because we have a problem today. And the problem that we have here is that in the Muslim community, our sisters are more and more educated, and there is not enough men who are educated, who are at their level. So there is now something which is a tension between the expectation of women and the offer, so to speak, coming from men, and we cannot just go by the rules and the formal response. So this is why your question, it's an important question, not to try to change the rule, but to face the rule and say, okay, what are the requirements? What should we do now to help the Muslim women to find the right person for her, to be able to feel good within marriage, not by respecting the rules without substance, but by getting both, the rules and the substance.
Jazakallah khair. I know you're in rush. It was very nice talking to you. And
Thank you so
the community of Afghanis, they always have their respects, and they really love to say salam to you, all of
Thank you so much.
sisters and brothers. Thank you. Jazakallah khair.
صدای